What is going on, wrestling fans? It is WWE at Home 219 here with my WrestleMania 29 predictions. WrestleMania is finally going to be here April 7th, 2013. So let's get right into it. On the pre-show, I'm expecting, we already announced actually on Raw last night, The Miz versus Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental title. Wade Barrett's been Intercontinental Champion for about 4 months, if I'm not mistaken, and I feel like it is The Miz's time. I am not a fan of The Miz or Wade Barrett, and I'm more of a fan of Wade Barrett than The Miz, but I really think what the WWE is trying to do is get Miz over as a face in the WWE, and I feel like The Miz is going to win with the figure four leg lock and defeat Wade Barrett and become the new Intercontinental Champion and stay undefeated at WrestleMania, might I add. The Miz is undefeated at WrestleMania and defeat Wade Barrett. And then the other matchup, I'm not sure if it's going to be on the pre-show or if it's just going to be one of the matches on the undercard. Is Team Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls taking on Team Road Scholars and the Bella Twins. Now, this matchup I could care less about. It's basically just, in my opinion, a comical purpose. I think Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls are going to win because it looks like the Team Road Scholars and the Bellas have gotten the advantage, I guess you could say, between the two in the past two Raws as they won their matches respectively. And I just feel like the WWE is going to have Team Tons of Funk continue their momentum, and maybe they're trying to make them into a tag team champion type of team. I don't know, but I feel like they're just good for the comical purpose, like I said. But I will take Team Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls. So the next matchup we got here is Chris Jericho taking on Fandango. Now, a lot of people aren't excited for this matchup. I myself am excited for this matchup because Jericho is basically putting this matchup to put Fandango over. But now that doesn't necessarily mean that Jericho's going to have to lose to make Fandango look good. Fandango can still put up a good match with Chris Jericho and lose. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen. I feel like they're going to have a solid matchup. It will make people maybe silence their "you can't wrestle" chants towards Fandango because he actually can wrestle. And I'm expecting a good match between him and Jericho, but I feel like Chris Jericho is going to pick up the win, and I'm going to say he's going to win with the walls of Jericho. Next matchup we got here is for the tag team belts. Team Hell No taking on Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston. In my opinion, I'm kind of excited for it, kind of not. I like seeing Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan in the ring together. They have good chemistry and they put up good matches on Raw. But I just feel like Team Hell No is going to retain here. It doesn't make sense to me why Dolph and Big E, who have never wrestled together in the ring on live television, would win the straps at WrestleMania. And I feel like Dolph Ziggler is going to be World Heavyweight Champion, not at WrestleMania, but maybe at Extreme Rules or the Raw after WrestleMania. Who knows? But I feel like Dolph Ziggler has better things ahead of him and not a tag team championship. So I'm going to take Team Hell No to retain, probably with a cane choke slam to Big E Langston. Next matchup we got here is Ryback versus Mark Henry, arguably two of the strongest guys in WWE today. And this is a pretty simple pick for me. I'm going to take Ryback just because he's new and they're trying to build him up as one of the bigger faces, probably next to this guy, John Cena, and like Randy Orton and Sheamus is. But I feel like Ryback's going to finally get that WrestleMania moment and maybe shell shock Mark Henry. I feel like that's what they're going for in the WWE, and you might get that at WrestleMania 29. I'm going to take Ryback to defeat Mark Henry. But I will be rooting for Mark Henry in that matchup because I am not a Ryback fan. Next matchup, in my opinion, is the second the most excitement I have for a matchup at WrestleMania 29. It's Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show taking on The Shield. I'm a believer in The Shield. I love what they're doing. They're undefeated, and these are three of the top faces in WWE today. But I feel like Randy Orton is going to be the reason that the Shield picks up the victory because I'm predicting a Randy Orton heel turn at WrestleMania. He's been begging for this heel turn. I feel like it's finally going to come, and it's going to help out the Shield. He might even be the leader of the Shield here. Who knows? But I feel like WWE is making it seem like the Big Show and Sheamus aren't getting along because they had a rough past winter, I think, I guess you could call it, with like Survivor Series matchup and Hell in a Cell. And I feel like Randy Orton's going to be the one to turn on Big Show and Sheamus. So the Shield will pick up the victory via Randy Orton heel turn, and I'm expecting it to be a very, very entertaining matchup. So the Shield will win there. Next matchup we got here, Alberto Del Rio, the World Heavyweight Champion, taking on Jack Swagger for the championship. I'm not excited at all for this matchup. Probably my least favorite matchup that is on the card. Yes, I said my least favorite. This Del Rio face thing, I'm not feeling it. He's better heel. And Jack Swagger, I've never been a fan of. Even with the new gimmick, he's still boring to me. Zeb Coulter just helps him on the mic, I guess. Like I said, no excitement towards this matchup whatsoever. I feel like it's one of the worst feuds WWE's ever had. But I'm going to take Del Rio to retain here. It just doesn't make sense for me to have Jack Swagger win. Even though it looks like they're trying to build him up into this strong heel, I'm just not feeling it, and I feel like Alberto Del Rio will retain at WrestleMania 29 with no cash in. I'm not predicting a cash in. And then finally, the three biggest matchups, probably your last three matchups of the night: Triple H versus Brock Lesnar, no holds barred match, and there is the retirement stipulation of Triple H. If he loses, he has to retire from his wrestling career. I'm expecting a very powerful matchup. Two big dudes going at it. Their SummerSlam matchup could have been a little better, and I feel like that's what WrestleMania 29 is going to be for them. It's just going to be a chance for them to step up this thing, and especially with no hold bar, anything's going to go. I feel like it's going to be an awesome matchup. I'm going to predict Triple H to beat Brock Lesnar, even though I'm rooting for Brock Lesnar in this matchup. I feel like it's not time for Triple H to end his WWE career, and I feel like Brock Lesnar is not the guy to end the career of Triple H. Don't know why. I just don't think the WWE is going to pull the trigger with that. And I feel like Triple H is going to be scheduled for WrestleMania 30 because I feel like WrestleMania 30 is going to be like the ending of all these guys like The Undertaker, Triple H, and all that. I feel like WrestleMania 30 they're going to go all out on. So I will take Triple H to defeat Brock Lesnar in a pretty solid matchup with the pedigree at WrestleMania 29. Next matchup is the matchup I am looking forward to the most. And yes, I'm a John Cena fan, and I'm saying this, but I respect the hell out of the guy. CM Punk taking on the Streak with The Undertaker. But the streak's not going to end here at WrestleMania. CM Punk is not the right guy to do it, especially if he's planning on leaving as 2015, as he's been rumored to be leaving. I just feel like if you're gonna have anybody beat the streak, it's gonna. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but it's got to be John Cena. There's not an established top guy, and CM Punk hasn't been that top guy. He's only been a top guy for about a year and a half now, and he might even be moving back down to the mid card by the way that the WWE looks like they're about to do with him. Because if he loses at WrestleMania 29, he's not scheduled for any live events after WrestleMania. So who knows what's going on with CM Punk? I know he is a little banged up. I'm expecting for this to be the match of the night to steal the show. I feel like The Undertaker will win by the Tombstone Piledriver, and like I said, very excited for this. The Undertaker will defeat CM Punk, though, and go on to be 21-0. Now, before I get into the main event with The Rock and John Cena, there's two matches I think could be thrown in, or I'm kind of wondering what are they doing with them. Maybe we'll find out on SmackDown. And that is, what are they doing with the Divas title? I was expecting maybe Caitlyn to defend her title against AJ. And what's going on with the United States Championship? They're just having Antonio Cesaro lose every week, which is just stupid. It's just bringing down the relevance of the United States Championship. I feel like if anything, they're going to put a battle royal on the pre-show for number one contendership of the United States Championship. And if that does happen, I will take Christian on a return to win that. And then I'm guessing he would face Cesaro on the main card later in the show. And if that were to happen, I'll just take Cesaro to retain. Also, if the Divas Championship does happen, I would expect it to be AJ versus Caitlyn, and don't be surprised if AJ were to upset Caitlyn. I don't even know if you'd call it an upset, but I would, over for the Divas Championship. So those are two matches that I was kind of wondering what it's going to go on with them at WrestleMania. So like I said, let's move on to the main event for the WWE Championship, The Rock taking on John Cena. I think this is going to be the third best matchup of the night. I feel like now that they've got their WrestleMania 28 out of the way and they actually have ring chemistry now, I feel like this will be a very interesting matchup, but my boy John Cena is going to pick up the victory here. I feel like it is his time. The Rock is a part-time champion. He's not there every Raw. He doesn't deserve the WWE Championship, and at least John Cena will be there every single week with the WWE title in hand. And I'm going to just take John Cena to win with the attitude adjustment. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, is my WrestleMania 29 predictions / preview. If you want to give me your predictions down below, that would be greatly appreciated because I want to see what you guys think. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I come out with previews, predictions, reviews, all that WWE stuff. Follow me on Twitter at letstalk_WWE and enjoy WrestleMania 29 as I know I will.